can do paddle boards.
Yes.
That's crazy awesome. Yeah,
I was like, we have 2 paddle boards that we use, like, actually not much this summer, but more last summer. But like, while they're not being used, we could list those on your site and people could come rent them out.
Yeah.
Hey guys, I'm Chris.
And I'm Wendy.
From Toasted Marshmallow Adventures.com.
And you're watching Toasted Marshmallow Adventures Podcast.
Idaho's premier podcast for comedy and entertainment.
We know now more than ever, people are looking for ways to escape, and laughter is the best medicine.
On this show, we talk to comedians and entertainers from around the world. So if you're a fan of stand-up comedy or just looking to take a break from life, we got you.
We keep things light and fun, laughing as much as possible with occasional deep, thought-provoking moments intertwined.
So if you're in a safe space,
grab a cold one.
Hit the subscribe button on your favorite audio platform or YouTube.
And share some laughs with us. We are.
Okay, it wasn't right. Yeah.
And share some laughs with us. We are Toasted Marshmallow Adventures. We don't have a hype button.
No.
Pew, pew, pew.
Hi, I'm Chris.
And I'm Wendy.
And welcome to the Toasted Marshmallow Adventures Podcast. Tonight in our Boise studio from
Nampa.
Oh, we haven't done a podcast here in so long. Tonight in our Nampa studio, we have the co-founder of DAYTRAIL.com, Brett Simmons, with us. Welcome to the show.
Thank you, Brett.
You can see it's been a while since we've done a podcast in this studio. Welcome.
Yes, thank
you're actually
you.
the first.
Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. The first guest we've had that has seen the new carpet.
Yes,
here.
we have new carpet.
Yes, please. Please admire it. And yes, she'd been wanting carpet for years.
I have. I was like, we have to. It's getting embarrassing.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Chris didn't get the carpet he wanted in the studio, but I think it's still cool.
This was a compromise. The stuff I wanted was like $15 a square foot, and it would have cost us like $4,000 to do this room.
$1,000
just for this room.
Yeah, this dumb little room. So anyway,
so
thank you, Brett.
Very cool.
Definitely.
Very cool.
Yeah, welcome. Sorry, we're telling you about our issues and carpet.
Hey, carpet can be exciting.
Yeah, definitely.
It was moving every single thing out of the dang house.
Yes, every room. It's awesome. So, co-founder of DAYTRAIL, we've been looking at your stuff here.
Yeah.
First of all, what I want to ask you is, how did DAYTRAIL come about? Well, actually, let's first explain what DAYTRAIL is.
So DAYTRAIL is a platform like Airbnb, where people can rent their, I call them garage ornaments, all those things that we have sitting in our garage that we intend to use but don't always. And so anything from as small as a paddleboard or hiking equipment to ATVs and UTVs and boats and motorcycles on and off road and RVs even.
Right.
So people can put their stuff online to rent it to other people, and others that don't have or want to own it can get on there and have some fun for a day, weekend, week, whatever.
So were you super into the outdoor stuff, and that's what started this?
See, I always have been, yes. In fact, in years past, I had we'll call it a brick and mortar place where we, over by the mall, actually, right off of Franklin and Maple Grove area, where we rented, I had a partner at the time, ATVs and watercraft specifically. And that went pretty good. And we did that for 4 or 5 years, but it was a side venture and it took too much time. So we kind of stopped, but it's always been on simmer in the back of my head. And, with the internet and things going on and Airbnb, and then you got Turo that does cars.
Right.
And it's a proven formula. There just hasn't been much in the way of competition for toys.
Right.
Yeah.
And you can do paddle boards.
Yes.
That's crazy awesome. Yeah,
I was like, we have 2 paddle boards that we use, like, actually not much this summer, but more last summer. But like, while they're not being used, we could list those on your site and people could come rent them out.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
That is amazing.
Because in Boise, you go to Quinn's Pond and they'll rent them there, but they only have so many of them, right?
Yeah.
Right.
When they're out, they're out.
And I'm thinking McCall, Cascade, those places. Are those, like cheap rentals. I think that might be the name.
Cheap Thrills, I think.
Cheap Thrills, yeah. So is that your competition, or like can they list things on
They
your site?
They absolutely can.
Oh,
they can use our site.
Okay.
Somebody coming from out of town that doesn't even maybe know they exist or has to, find them, they can just go to our site, go, look, I'm going to go to McCall or wherever and what's available in the area. And
okay. Wow. That's cool.
Yeah. It's kind of exciting.
Did you start in Utah?
Started here. We're from here.
Okay, gotcha.
So we started here. And we've kind of moved into Utah. We have a thing. I think we've got some stuff in Alaska, New York, and Arizona at this point as well.
Where in Alaska? She's from Alaska.
I'm from Juneau, yeah. Probably Anchorage.
Juneau, Anchorage, Fairbanks. Probably one of the three, I would
I'm
guess.
I'm going to be lying if I even answer. I'm not 100% sure.
All right.
That's cool. So does the item that you rent out vary by state? Do you offer different things in Arizona than, do people have different things or?
Well, so I guess probably depends on the climate a lot.
Yeah.
And there's going to be more or less of different things in different areas. But because we're just getting going, it's really about getting people to know we even exist so that they can put their stuff on there.
Okay.
Because we're in Idaho, that's been our big focus, and we've put a lot of marketing and time, and I'm here with you, and we've done a little bit of it in Utah as well. And so there's more in Idaho and a little bit in Utah, and people have just heard about it and put stuff up in these other places.
Cool. So when did you actually start?
It's been a couple years process. So I was actually the founder, and my co-founder or partner is actually the guy that ended up doing the web design.
Oh, okay.
I sat down and was talking to him about what I wanted to do, and he's like, "Don't pay me. I want to own this thing."
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
And so and it's been a good partnership. He's
the website is very easy to understand, simple.
Yes.
That's very nice.
It's been very well done, and we have a lot of really awesome help, and so it's been very smooth. And
that's DAYTRAIL.com, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
And is there an app?
There is not yet, but it's in the works.
Okay.
Oh, cool.
Sweet.
Yeah, so you can even go on there and say you have something and see how much you could actually make from that something, which is very cool.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, we got a little profit calculator.
Yeah.
thing
Oh,
there.
nice.
Which people love.
Yeah,
I mean, or maybe just me, but
Well, yeah, I want to know
love
if
that
I'm going to
stuff.
put my stuff on there, what I'm going to
Can
make.
I actually make some money?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, big question I have, and I know you got the answer for this. So, say I put a paddleboard on there and it gets destroyed somehow while the person's renting it. How does that work at that point? You guys have insurance to cover people's equipment?
We do. Now, that's a little bit of a catch, so that's a good question. Okay. So smaller stuff like paddleboards and stuff aren't insurable, really.
Oh, okay.
They're just not a high enough dollar amount.
Okay.
But the renter is responsible, and we do have their credit card, and if they were to destroy it, then we would just run their card, and you'd get your money for your equipment back. But on bigger ticket items, on RVs and boats, and there's full coverage insurance, and it varies. ATVs I think are covered up to $10,000, boats and RVs up to $25,000 full coverage, and the amounts vary depending on what it is. But I think there's either a list or they're actually putting a list on there now as to what's covered and how much and by what.
Okay.
But at the end of the day, the renter is responsible 100% for anything they do wrong outside of normal wear and tear.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's something I think you would have to just be ready for if you're giving them your whatever paddleboard, if they're dragging it around. But if you're not using it,
Yeah, I know. We have paddleboards and kayaks that don't get used all the time.
Right. I know just where to put them.
Yes, we'll make some money off
Do you
them.
have any of your own items on there?
I have a lot of my own items. So I do ATVs is my thing. I like those specifically. So I've got actually several on there. I got a street bike that I'm going to put on there. I just haven't yet for one reason or another. And some trailers. We do utility trailers.
I know. Yeah, I read a review or something that somebody needed a trailer, and it worked out great. And you guys were it was a lower cost way to do it, which is awesome.
That was actually my trailer. So,
nice.
So yeah. And
so how does it work? Somebody punches in their info, and this is what they need. So they find the the thing they want and click on it, or
yeah. Okay, so you're going to get. I mean, yeah, you can do all of that, but before you can rent anything, you're going to be prompted to register, whether you own something or are renting.
Okay. Just to give all your info.
Yes, and we have a third-party verification company that will ask for your ID and things to say, okay, this is a real person, and it's not just a scammer trying to get something.
Yeah,
and then you can go on there and search and see what's available in your area or where you want to go or be, and then just make arrangements like you would on Airbnb.
Okay, so what was the delivery thing though? Can something say like you? What if? Well, I don't know. There was a delivery part.
So the people that rented mine was a covered trailer, just empty, and they were moving to Montana.
Oh, wow.
And so they took a load to Montana and brought it back, and that was...
Did you bring them the trailer, or they came to
They come and pick it up.
Oh, okay.
And you arrange that. It can be at your house, or if you want to do it someplace else. And you do a simple walk around. Take pictures.
Similar to rental car.
Yes, before and after, so that everybody's on the same page, and those get uploaded to us. So if there's any discrepancy, then we can say,
oh, fantastic.
This isn't matching, or it is.
Okay.
Right. Because rental cars don't do that at all.
Yeah.
No. If you don't mark down a scratch, you might get charged for it when you get back.
You never know. That's true.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
Although pitch for Turo, last time I needed to rent a car, we took a family to Florida, and I have 6 kids, and so there's a bunch of us. And we were looking for a full-size van, and no rental company had one. I mean, they have them, but they were out. So I got on Turo just like, well, look. It was less expensive, less headaches. I went in. They left it parked there for me. I got it. I left. I may never use a rental car company again.
And we only recently heard about Turo. I feel like through Leanne.
I heard about it before that, but I've never really... I knew what it was, but never tried to use it before. Yeah. So you're saying better than a rental car company.
Well, I saw in one of your guys' posts you went to Targhee and did Airbnb, right?
Mm-hmm.
Did you like the Airbnb?
Yeah.
Yeah, better than a hotel?
Right.
Oh, definitely.
Always.
Yeah.
Yes.
So,
Always. Yeah, it really is.
And on these toys especially, if you go to, like, say, Cheap Thrills or something in McCall, and in these resort areas, they usually rent them by the hour.
Okay.
And what you
by the day, right?
Yeah, ours is by the day. So what you might pay by the day from somebody, you might end up paying close to that by the hour at the resort areas.
And then I noticed also when you add in the Saturday, it's sometimes not that much more on your site.
Yeah.
To do 2 days.
Oh, really?
With the thing.
Yes.
Yeah, which is awesome. I think one thing I was like $300 and then $355 for Saturday and Sunday. I was like, why wouldn't you do that? Yeah. So do the people that are renting their things out, they come up with the price?
Yes.
Or do you suggest a price? Or
I think we have some suggestions on there as to what might go for what, and so you got people that are really particular about their things, and they might charge a little bit more and say, hey, mine's brand new. If you want a brand new one, it's going to cost a little more.
Yeah. And
they may be okay to rent it less.
Right.
But for more. And so they may mark it up. But yes, at the end of the day, they're able to put whatever price on there they want and adjust it and give discounts for so many days. That is completely up to the owner.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So if we wanted to rent out paddle boards or something, we go on there, we put all our info in, and then
take some pictures. And
and then we have to. Do we have to pass something, or do you guys come look at it?
Nope, you just have to upload the pictures of it. And
gotcha.
Wow.
Now, if you've got mechanical stuff, ATVs, UTVs, and things, we do like a 3-month checkup, make sure that their oils are changed and
so you come in and do that.
We don't do that. We just they got to send us some sort of verification that it's
okay. So they might have to take their equipment somewhere and get it checked out.
Yeah,
which is what Uber used to do. I don't know if they do that anymore.
A little bit's on their honor. They're telling us when they did it and whatever. And if they do it themselves, that's fine, and they can put it on there. If somebody leaves and then gets where they're going and it doesn't start because they put oil back in it. That's
right.
That's kind of the owner's fault.
Yeah.
Jeez. So you're born and raised in Boise or Idaho, around the state?
My parents are both from Pocatello.
Okay.
And all of my family largely lives there. But my parents, I'm the oldest in my family of kids, and my parents had moved to California for a job. Mm-hmm. They had me, and at 3 months old, they moved back to Idaho. They were like, we're going to do not the family here. So,
Gotcha.
So pretty much.
Yeah. I would say yes.
Yeah.
My family's all Idaho. So.
Yeah.
Dang.
Yeah, as for me and my family, well, we came from California because I didn't want to raise the kids there. Moved to Idaho. They didn't turn out great anyways.
No. It didn't matter what state you were in.
Yeah. Nature over nurture.
That's awesome.
Jeez.
So, and what do you want to tell us about horses?
Oh, God.
Oh, yeah. We were told ask about your horse expertise.
Oh, man.
Is this a joke or is this your really?
So I am. I breed horses, I guess.
Oh,
okay. Gotcha.
So I'm an excavation contractor is my day job.
That's
really.
what I wondered.
And so I've done that for 25 years, and in the middle of that, I tried to rent these things out for a while, and it worked for a minute. And I have a hard time sitting still, maybe. So I breed horses, and now we're branching into this. And,
Dang.
And
excavation, so you drive the big stuff?
Well, I don't so much.
Oh, okay. You're the boss of the people that do.
Yeah, more or less.
Gotcha.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
I know all about dump trucks and skidsters and doubles
yes, ma'am.
and triples.
Have all the above.
Backhoes and I used to be with somebody that
which
was
works
what he
really
did.
well having horses as far as cleaning things up goes.
Yeah, oh sure,
Yeah,
you've got the equipment
Yeah.
to just be like, nice.
So you have a place where you have your animals? Are they do you have a ranch or?
Yeah, we'll call it a ranch. Yeah.
Okay. You don't have to tell us where it is or anything.
No, it's in Cuna, and okay. My office is there, and the horses are there, and yeah.
Okay. Now, does DayTrail have a physical location, or is it all online?
It is all online. I guess if we have a physical location, we have some offices in downtown Boise on Bannock in the Banner Bank building.
Okay,
and,
gotcha.
That's where the web team works, and so I guess if we got an office, it's where they're all working and residing. But it gets farmed out all over the place. We have people. There's a lot of people involved, and a lot of work goes into maintaining the Instagram and Facebook.
Oh my gosh, I know.
Giving
Just
ideas,
social media, it's insane.
And then they're tracking that and how many people looked all the time, and I get weekly up. In fact, tomorrow's our weekly meeting, and I'm sure we'll talk about this and how good or bad I look.
Well, it won't be out for a few weeks,
okay?
So yeah, it's fine. No, I have it over here right now.
Very cool, very cool.
So yeah, it'll be a few weeks till this one's out, but yeah, actually, let me explain to our audience here because they're used to seeing comedians on our show for the past couple years, right?
Yeah.
So, but we've decided. As well as having these comedian interviews, we're going to go back to our roots and do more of some of the adventure stuff like we started out and the outdoor stuff. So you're the first episode in we don't know, we have a working name of We Are Idaho, but we're not sure if that's the official name, but by the time this comes out, we're going to have an awesome name.
When Idaho's in the news, it's not for good things.
Not usually.
So we want to put out some good things. Like, why do we all live here? If it's all lame in the news, almost everything I see in the news from Idaho is like, well, they're, worst in education.
I think somebody sings a song called Peace Sells, but Who's Buying? Have you heard that song?
Yes.
Yeah.
And I think negativity is, I guess, what they decide sells, and so they spend so much of it. But just take Boise, for example. you can drive in 45 minutes in every direction, and there is a lake or reservoir that you can boat and or water ski in.
Yes.
There is mountains and a ski resort within 45 minutes.
Oh, yeah.
And we're big enough. There's really everything to do here. We're small enough. We don't have all the big city crap.
Exactly.
Right?
Yes. Which is why we've loved it.
And which is why we have so many people moving in.
That
if they look at it really at all, they're like, that's where I want to be.
Yeah, of course.
Which is good on the excavation side.
But, you're rolling in it.
It's been good.
Now, I know it's summertime now, but like in the wintertime, will people be able to list like their skis and snowboards, that kind of stuff as well?
Really?
Snowmobiles?
All of the above,
like
absolutely.
Okay, great.
Cool. Wow.
We do use ours a lot in the winter,
Yeah.
probably more than we use our summer stuff.
Yeah. Are you a skier, snowboarder?
A skier.
Oh,
yes.
nice. Yay, skiers.
If you live here your whole life, you almost have to, right?
Exactly.
You should.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't take up snowboarding until I moved here, but as a kid, I was always a skateboarder, so it was a
easy.
natural
It's a similar
transition.
beast,
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Awesome.
Where do you love to go, skiing wise? Is it? Have you been to Grand Targhee? You were mentioning
I have
our
not,
post.
which is funny because
You have to go.
I have a sister that lives in Idaho Falls, and I don't really have a reason not to go.
You have no reason. It's amazing.
But I've been to most of the ones, Brundage, close here, and Bogus, and I don't venture out a whole long. If I got to drive
Too
for
busy
days,
here.
There's that. But if I got to venture for days and hours to get someplace, for me it's a negative. I'd rather go and come home and sleep in my own bed.
True. Yeah. Yeah, that's a bonus.
That is a bonus, but when you're far away.
I mean, I like hunting. And my friends will go up and they'll camp there all week, right?
Right.
I'll get up at 4 a.m. to not camp and drive up to wherever they're at, meet them.
You're that guy.
Hunt for the day, and
come back.
And when we're done, I'm driving home. So,
nice.
Tent or home. Yeah, I hear you.
I'd rather get up early than sleep in a tent in the cold. So.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
I mean, I like camping, but hunting always happens in the winter or fall, and it's getting cold then, right?
Yes. Are you digging this weather then? I mean, it's a lot.
So I would rather be hot than cold.
Oh,
so I'm loving the heat. Yeah.
Are you outside with the folks or on your excavation?
Yeah, for my air-conditioned truck.
Yeah, there you go. Well, plus the new equipment has air conditioning in it, right?
It does, most of it. And anymore, if you don't have it, they're like, I don't want to work for you.
Right.
You know?
I know. Yeah, it really is a thing.
That's a true
your
story.
stuff's too old. I can't. Yeah.
Well, especially with the heat we're having
It's
now.
so brutal.
Which is funny because when I started, none of it did.
No, none of it.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
I was with somebody for 20 years and he was in excavation and he was blown away when he got a piece of equipment like a skid, whatever, and it had AC in it. He was like, I'm a pimp almost.
Yeah,
It's like,
it's
dude,
not working
it's not
anymore.
yours.
they're playing anymore,
yeah,
right?
Exactly. Yeah.
So when I was looking up DAYTRAIL, I was like, okay, this is like the Uber or Airbnb for like recreation equipment. I mean, is that how you would describe it?
That is. It's a platform for like Airbnb for recreation equipment. Yeah.
And did we ask this already? What made you start this company?
Just friends that had things.
No, you kind of asked. I had done it at a physical location.
Oh,
years
yes.
Right.
past. And just with the formation of the internet and things, and other companies that, again, Airbnb and Turo and some of these other ones, it's the platform has proven it works.
Yeah.
And since I've tried a few, I've tried Airbnb, I've tried Turo, and had positive experiences. For me, it was a no-brainer because, there really isn't a competition for it as far as the recreation equipment goes.
Do you think the prices on your site are less than going through a standard?
Generally, yes,
Okay.
because a lot of those are by the hour or by the half day or whatever. And yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
And then everything on your site is for the full day?
Yes.
Oh,
wow.
Nice.
That's awesome.
Okay, we're going to have to look when we need a boat.
But you have to rent something to you can't tow a boat with a Kia.
I mean, we've got hitches on both of them.
So you get on Turo and you're in a truck.
Exactly. Be a small boat.
They'll tow 2,000 pounds.
Even U-Haul will rent what F-150 for $20 for the day, right?
Okay, true, yeah. As long as they have a hitch on them, we're towing a boat.
So do you get out? Are you able to get out and have fun, or are you too busy with all your
That's
things?
a funny question. I don't get out as much as I'd like to.
Yeah.
But I think most people can say that at the end of the day.
I would agree.
I want to go this weekend, and then one thing or another comes up, and then they don't. And, by the end of the summer, they've gone, a couple of times or once or twice.
And you have 6 kids?
Yes.
Are they all at home?
No. So I have 2. The oldest is 26 and married. Mm-hmm. And then a 24, a 22, a 20, and 18.
Wow.
And then a 13 caboose.
13.
Wow.
Dang.
So I got 3 others in college. The oldest just graduated, and the other 3 are in college. And
congratulations.
And the 18-year-old's deciding what he's doing. So
right. That sounds like a success story.
Yeah, definitely.
I'm proud of them. They're good kids. I have good kids.
Yeah, wow.
Nice. We don't want to get into politics, but there's that student loan stuff that came out
today.
today.
I was thinking that could benefit you massively. Perhaps.
Yes. So.
Most of them, they all work and if get whatever grants they can, and I try to make up the difference as best I can. And, if they stay in the state, it is reasonable.
Yeah.
If you work and juggle a little bit to get it done, and they've done a pretty good job so far. So.
Oh, good.
Awesome.
Yeah. Wow.
Sweet.
6 kids. We can't even handle 2.
2, no.
Okay, I'll be honest. I don't handle them either. My wife does.
Yeah, but do they all still talk to you?
Yeah, so, that's one of our issues.
It's funny. My 24-year-old son calls me every day from school.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Sometimes he wants advice. Sometimes he wants me to listen. Sometimes it's just to say hi. But just about every day I get one call.
Pretty good.
Yeah.
I'd say that's success.
I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Yeah, my son blocked us.
We've been done blocked. Well, we can't tell if it's a blessing in disguise.
Yeah. Anywho, let's get off that subject.
That's awesome. I'm not awesome,
but it's life.
It happens.
So is there a certain breed of horse that you raise?
It is. They're called Gypsy Vanner horses.
Okay.
And they call it feather, but hair on their feet.
Oh.
Big old bushy manes and tails, like a Clydesdale or something.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
But they're just a normal size horse. Actually normal to small, actually. And that. So my kids growing up, when the oldest was like 10, I grew up in a subdivision, just normal kid. Mm-hmm. And my 10-year-old's like, Dad, I want horses. And my kids like loved animals, but they liked them at the zoo in a cage, right?
Yeah.
They wouldn't pet the neighbor's dog. They were scared. And they're like, oh, we want horses. And I'm like, yeah, you won't even pet the dog. You want
Did you have experience with horses?
None.
Wow.
Zero. Oh, so Kat took me on a trip that I won for equipment purchases that particular year. And I was looking through this magazine, and there's this ad for most docile horse ever bred.
Which,
so their claim to fame is they're the golden retriever with hooves.
Okay.
And I'm like, well, if ever I was going to consider this,
yes.
It would have to be that. Mm-hmm. And it didn't hurt that they're really pretty and all these other things, right? So, high school friend I grew up with had 5 acres and a horse, and kids same age as mine, and they're like, get a horse, you can put it here, the kids can do it together, it'll be a good time. And I'm like, so we bought one. Mm-hmm. And dang it, if my daughter, who wouldn't pet the neighbor's dog, wasn't pulling that tail and combing it and brushing it and walking all around it, I'm like, what?
Yeah.
What? and then I heard the words horse poor at some point.
Yeah.
Horse poor.
And I didn't want to be that. So, you get a boy and a girl and you have puppies, right? I
mean,
it doesn't work like I have horses, but it made sense to me. And now I have like 22 of them.
Oh my!
22
on your own property, then.
Yes,
At this point.
yes.
Wow. So did you have to build the stable or like?
So actually, I bought a property that already had one built. And the riding arena, it was a horse property.
Oh, okay.
And it was actually set up for breeding, so it worked out pretty good.
Wow.
You had a lot to learn, though.
Yes.
I would think.
Yes.
And now you're in good with your vet. I would
Yeah.
assume.
In fact, she lives pretty close.
I would think
Yeah.
so.
Yeah.
Providing her income or his.
Yeah.
Well, so the idea was that they pay for themselves, and they do. So
When you
so,
sell them.
yeah.
Okay.
So anything and everything that's involved with them, they pay for themselves pretty much. So.
You sell locally, or do you have people
All
out of
across
state?
the country.
Oh,
So
do you?
just in July, I sold one that went to New York,
Oh wow.
and then also I sold one this month that did stay local. So yeah, we sell, I don't know, 5 to 6 a year.
Is that hard? Do you get close to them, or do you try and?
How much does a horse cost?
I don't always
I have
name
no
them
idea.
until they're on their way out the door.
Oh, okay.
For that reason.
Yeah.
Right. So these range like a newborn, between 10 and 20,000, depending on genetics and color and just that wow factor. You know, that horse, you go, everybody that looks at it just goes, wow.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Yeah. It's kind of fun.
Yeah. Sheesh. That
Well,
was-
yeah. I mean, if you can sell 5 horses even for $10,000 a year,
That's not
you know,
bad.
I mean, you're making more than most Idahoans, honestly.
Well, food right now costs quite a bit. My ranch doesn't feed itself, so I'm buying and importing stuff and
Oh, so you're not growing what they eat.
I don't have quite that much land,
Yeah.
so yeah.
Wow.
But they cover their own costs, fortunately.
Yeah.
Oh, that's good.
And is your wife involved in either of these, all 3 of these ventures?
So
She has her own business.
She probably has 3
it's
businesses.
funny when we got married. She, I mean, we talked about it, obviously before we got married. We both wanted a lot of kids, and so we were going for it. And frankly, 6 kids. She's got her hands more full than I
That's
do
what I
with
was thinking.
as many jobs as I want. And I got to give a shout out to any stay-at-home mom, because that job is harder than anything I've ever done.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I will be the first to say it, and I will scream it from the
Because
rooftops.
you can leave for work.
Exactly. And I frequently say I get to escape to work.
Yes.
So they're like, "You're busy." I'm like, "No, she's busy."
I got to go.
It's so true.
Yeah. Wow.
Wow.
You married an awesome woman, I think.
She is.
Yeah.
She's pretty cool.
Yeah. That's
Wow,
great.
that's really cool. So she had, I forget, how many kids do you have
6.
at home?
Oh, 1.
Oh, at home, the 18-year-old hasn't left yet because he just graduated. So there's 2 at home.
2. Oh, okay. She's got it easy then.
Now.
Only 2 kids.
Yeah.
Jeez. So, is there anything we haven't asked you about DayTrail that you may want to let our listeners know?
I think you guys have covered it pretty good. It is just we just need people to upload their stuff. If you are interested in what do they say it these days, a side hustle?
Yeah.
You know, if you have a house, let's take the cost of that house, whatever it might be. In the valley here, $500,000 is almost hitting the bottom of the barrel anymore.
Right.
And so you take that cost versus what you can get per night for that house, whatever that might be, $100, $200, and you take a $10,000 ATV and you rent it for $250 or $300 for the day. I mean, your money spent on toys and renting them out versus your money spent on property. Toys depreciate, property appreciates for sure.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Well,
The
so somebody
return's
that
higher.
The return
Yeah, and
is
so
a lot
somebody
higher
that-
and a lot faster.
Okay.
purchased something and had a payment, you could cover that payment easy, I would think.
With one rental almost.
Yeah.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be really
So if you're somebody that's interested in buying something, it would be a good sales point. In fact, on the web design team, we had several people that that went home, and I'm going to say went home to their wives because they were guys, but they went home to their wives and they're like, honey, I want to buy this, and I'm going to put it on this website that I'm designing, and it's going to pay for itself.
Right.
Exactly.
And one of those guys particularly probably has rented his out more than anybody else. So
nice.
So it's, yes.
The website is amazing.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And while we don't have an app yet, the website is phone friendly. So you should be able to do everything from your phone that you can do on the computer.
Yeah. It's so simple and makes so much sense.
So have you thought about partnering with like these like places that sell recreational equipment? Like
we have in some cases.
Oh, okay.
You know, some of the resort places we haven't reached out really to yet, and I'm sure they may not be aware of us just yet. But you know, if they're renting something for $200, $300, $400 an hour, and somebody can rent one for the day, that they may not enjoy that process as much. But I mean, they could list it for by the hour as well. Frankly, it's totally up to the owner, and they could still. Okay. But the more, I mean, this is going to happen whether they want it to or not, right?
Right.
And people, I mean, even if it isn't me, somebody else is going to do it if it's not me.
Right.
Because it just makes sense.
Right.
Right? It makes sense for people that own them. It makes sense for people that don't want to.
Right.
Heck, even if you do own them and you're going to go halfway across those, you're going to go to Nebraska for a family reunion, you may want to not drag yours that far.
Exactly.
You may want to fly or drive without a trailer and just pick one up for a couple $100. That might be worth not the headache. Right?
Yeah, that is true.
Yeah, because we tend to drag things, and it's a headache.
It is. I've pulled a lot of trailers between horses and excavation, and I'd rather not pull them for hours and days.
That is true. Yeah, convenience is definitely worth something.
Yeah, for sure is. Yeah. Yes. Huh. So you right now, this business has zero competition.
There is, I hate to pitch the competition, but you got RV Share and Outdoorsy. Both only do RVs.
Okay.
And I'll say this, they only do RVs. They're both doing great, but they've got pages and pages and pages of RVs listed, which is good because you can pick exactly what you want on one hand. On the other, if you're the person that owns the RV, you're competing with everybody else that's listed on there, right? And with our site, somebody can be looking for an ATV for the weekend. They go, "Oh, maybe I'll get an RV too," and mix and match.
Throw in
yeah, definitely.
And most people that own RVs, frankly, have other toys,
right?
Because they take them with them.
Yeah,
that's true. Yeah,
that's kind of the thing. The vibe.
Yeah.
Once you're in, you're in.
It really is.
Well, I think because we are on the cusp of going fully self-employed and kind of working on, kind of thinking about different gig stuff, like we're remodeling a camper to put on Airbnb, doing other things like we do podcast editing and production. So this could be another facet of that as an income.
We currently aren't using.
Yeah, exactly. So
can you schedule it to where they cannot rent it on certain days?
Yes, you can block it out or tie it up yourself.
Like I'm using it this weekend. Yeah. Nice.
Or it's broke and I got to fix it. Or
Okay, sweet. Really cool. That is awesome. Yeah, that could be another facet of income for us in the future.
Were you working on this during the pandemic? Because I feel like that's when we all went, you know what, I don't know if I'm doing what I want to do.
So I dreamed it up before it happened, and we really got to working on it right at the very beginning of it.
Perfect.
But the website took, I don't know, all of a year and a half really to get it to where it was operational. And it's been operational since last probably September. But it hasn't really, because people don't know it exists yet.
Yeah.
This spring is when it really started, and we're growing weekly at this point. There's more people listing their things. There's more people getting on there that may want to rent in the future on a weekly basis at this point. And so it should start growing a lot.
I noticed a lot of people from Garden Valley, not as much from McCall, which surprised me. I'm like, they have stuff in McCall.
So there's a guy that rents UTVs in Garden Valley, and he's got his stuff listed on there.
I see. Okay. So, McCall, come on.
Yeah. Well, they're the ones that do it by the hour. I think he was doing his by the day, so it made sense, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And McCall, where they're largely doing it by the hour.
Yeah. But, I mean, just independent folks should have things in McCall, that people that live there. Yeah, for sure.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Cool.
Now, kind of a weird question maybe. So say we rented out our kayaks. Would we be required to also rent them a life jacket, or that's their own responsibility?
And that is up to you.
Okay.
Oh.
But we're going to, for the sake of this conversation, we're going to assume that if they don't have a kayak of their own, they probably don't have a life jacket of their own.
Okay.
And if they have to go buy one and other things, that might make it less
So you
less
toss
apt.
in the accessories.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like with my ATVs, I have a trailer and I also have a ramp. So if they want to put it in the back of their pickup, they can ramp it up if they're comfortable doing it. Or they can rent it with the trailer, and I don't charge them extra for that.
Right.
Now, what is, and we can cut this out if we need to, the responsibility of the renters? Say someone rents our kayak, they go out on the lake and they drown.
Oh, yeah.
Like, what is the responsibility of the renter in that case, or is there any?
Well, so, I mean, they sign a certain amount of paperwork, against death and injury and all these things.
Okay.
That they assume the risk when they rent the machine or whatever it is they're renting.
Okay.
Because, it would be, of course, their own doing. And,
Yeah.
And, yeah.
Okay.
That makes sense.
Gotcha. Yeah, it definitely makes sense.
If you're an idiot.
They exist.
Yeah, I know.
But, in our market research at the onset of this, we found certain things. So insurance was huge for people.
Yeah.
And having it is a key component. But nobody was willing to say, yeah, I'll insure your $300,000 RV full coverage.
Yeah.
It just isn't going to happen. But that said, they're covered up to $25,000, and short of totaling it, few people are going to do $25,000 worth of damage anyways.
Right.
True.
Yeah,
true.
I read that. It said peer-to-peer.
Yes.
Breaking peer-to-peer.
Yeah.
They're still responsible for it, but and people that are renting high ticket dollar things, they're not wanting to have to pay for them if they wreck it.
No.
True. Yeah.
And hopefully that makes them a little more responsible, a little less to drive it off a cliff.
Right.
But there are stupid people, sadly, and
Well, I mean, we took chances. We rented out a room on Booking, and you never knew really who was going to show up, and we just
definitely. Yeah, we used to rent out this extra bedroom before, and
hoped everything would be fine.
Yeah, and then
it wasn't always.
No, one night I walked down the hallway.
Terrible.
The door was open, and two people were in there having sex.
Oh,
the door open.
And they were shocked to see him.
Yeah,
like, I didn't know you'd be
some
here.
people like to perform. I don't know.
Yeah.
Like, we live here.
Yes.
So
that's why there's doors.
Exactly. And there's a lock on that one. They left the door wide open. They obviously didn't read that we were coming back, and they're just renting a room in our house.
Yes. That was a funny text exchange.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think they left us a really bad review, then Booking.com deleted it because they said, someone scared the shit out of them coming down the hallway, and that was me coming down the hallway witnessing them having sex
in your own house.
in my house.
That will not happen at DAYTRAIL.
No, definitely not.
So DAYTRAIL.com, and you have 2 Instagrams. You have DAYTRAIL and DAYTRAIL
Rentals.
Yes.
Yep.
Okay.
Okay. Sweet.
Any other way people should get a hold of you guys?
Their Facebook or through the website.
Okay. Cool.
Awesome.
And list your things, make some money. I love the calculator. That is targeted to people like me. Yeah. I love things like that.
What's this going to make
oh my
in
gosh, we're
12
be
months?
What's my potential here?
Exactly. Yeah.
And somebody can help themselves by even putting it on Facebook Marketplace and saying, hey, go to DAYTRAIL to rent this thing of mine.
That's a great idea.
Everybody has Facebook, and they can help drive people there. I mean, you can rent it. There's a ton of people that are on there renting their stuff anyways without insurance or anything else.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, if they drive them to the site, they can have their stuff insured.
Wow, that's cool.
I felt like every company takes a cut. That's part of it. But I felt like yours was really reasonable.
Yeah.
What is the percentage?
So 10% to the owner and 10% to the renter, basically, is what it ends up being.
Okay.
That's because Airbnb is 30. Isn't that
Exactly.
what we figured out? Yeah.
Yeah, they are 30.
Yeah.
Anything like restaurants that partner with DoorDash are like 30%, so yeah, that's actually under what the kind of market is right now for this kind of stuff.
I was impressed.
Yeah.
And we don't lay it all on one person or there. We kind of split it up. And
No, really reasonable. Really a cool idea.
Well, thank you.
And this is an active state. This is an active area where
everyone.
Well,
not everyone, but because we have a lot of friends that don't do shit. But, a lot of people in the area, recreate and things.
That's
and
the cool part of living here.
Exactly.
You can get out and have fun. So now you don't have to haul your stuff. You could actually, it'd be cool if you didn't have a way. Could you rent in McCall and could you set it up where somebody brings the thing to the lake?
Like pay it?
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. So there's a place where you can give some instructions and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
You might have a high dollar boat that you don't feel comfortable with somebody loading and unloading.
Yeah.
True, yeah.
And you might say rent only to Lucky Peak, we'll deliver.
Okay.
Or
cool.
Or you might even, if somebody doesn't have a vehicle, to pull something, you might offer delivery for X number of dollars to within 30 minutes or 45 minutes of
That's so
pickup.
worth it.
Yeah, that's really cool.
So that is completely up to the owner.
Okay.
That's
Sweet.
really neat.
That's good. I think we need to get on this. Yeah, exactly. Well, thank you so much for being
Yes,
here
thank you for
tonight.
having me.
It's been awesome, learning about DAYTRAIL.com. All right, I'm signing out.
I'm signing off.
I'm Chris Adams.
I'm Wendy Mosier. # Get Toasted.
Stay toasted.
And thank you, Brett.
Thanks for having me.
And DAYTRAIL. Woo!